17 settings you should change on the Nikon Z8. In the photo shooting menu, number 1, in primary slot selection, select CF Express, and if you want the maximum speed with bursts, for the secondary slot function, use the SD card as overflow. Number 2, make sure your image quality is RAW. In the RAW recording menu, either select lossless compression or high efficiency star. Personally, I only use lossless compression. The quality is a bit higher than high efficiency star, and it actually works with Darktable. However, many people swear by high efficiency star. Number 3, in the ISO sensitivity settings, set ISO sensitivity to 64 and auto ISO to on. For some reason, at least my Z8 came with the lowest ISO set to 100. Weird. Number 4, in set picture control, set the profile to flat. I'd also decrease the contrast by -1. The reason being is that if you're shooting RAW, then this will be a much closer to the basic unedited RAW starting point than more contrasty profiles. Of course, if you're shooting in JPEG, choose a profile that works best for you, but don't shoot in JPEG. Video menu. Number 5. In the video menu, under video file type, avoid H.264 8-bit MP4. That's because it only allows you to shoot in 1080p, and even then, it won't allow you to shoot 120 frames per second. Instead, I recommend H.265 10-bit MOV, or at least H.265 8-bit, if you won't be doing much serious editing. The ProRes formats are suitable for more serious projects, and the NRAW file sizes are huge, but may be useful in very specific cases. Number 6, turn on extended oversampling, which will give you higher video quality with 4K 60 and 4K 50. Number 7, just for video, I'd also turn white balance to manual. Make sure you set your white balance for every shot manually for video because with auto white balance, the white balance can shift for longer shots, which is very disturbing and noticeable. Custom settings menu. Number 8, make sure in A1 and A2, the AFC and AFS priority selection is set to release. This means the camera will always take a picture regardless of whether the camera thinks the image is focused. There's nothing more frustrating than pressing the shutter and not having a picture taken. Number 9, in A14, I suggest turning the focused point selection speed to high. It takes a bit of practice, but it's worthwhile to very quickly move your focus points around the screen. Of course, a lot of the time, you should be using subject recognition modes, which makes focusing even easier. Number 10, in C2, when you're using the self-timer, you can increase the number of shots taken to more than 1. This is very helpful when you're taking a landscape outside with a longer lens. Even with the self-timer and a steady tripod, a gust of wind can make your shot slightly blurry at longer exposure times. If you set your number of shots to 2 or 3 and give yourself a 1-second interval between shots, you can increase your chances of getting a tack sharp shot when using a tripod. Number 11. In D2, you can also set your maximum shots per burst. This is very useful if you're shooting birds in flight and you know the optimal position of the bird will only last a second. In that case, setting this value to 10 or 20 might be better than infinity, which may make too many shots on your card. I know not everyone will agree with this, but it helps me be more deliberate. Number 12. If you want to shoot a shot that lasts more than 30 seconds, make sure to turn D6 on. It will allow you to shoot a shot with a shutter speed of up to 900 seconds. Number 13. In D19, you can customize which displays are available upon pressing the disp button for the rear screen. I suggest just selecting 2 or 3 types so you don't have to scroll through 5 of them in the field. In D20, you can do the same for the viewfinder. Note that this is for photo mode. Check out G19 and G20 for the same functionality in video mode. Number 14. In custom controls, shooting, make sure you configure the front FN1 and FN2 buttons to give you alternative autofocus and shooting options. A good idea is to configure FN1 for an alternative focus mode and FN2 for recall shooting functions, which instantly recall shooting settings faster than changing shooting menu banks. You should also configure the AF on button to be yet another type of AF area mode plus AF on. There are endless possibilities for different types of photography, but the key is to make sure that all the AF area modes you need will be easily accessible via buttons. Number 15. Also in custom control, you can choose what the lens control ring does. I've got mine set for exposure compensation. Setup menu. Number 16. In the setup menu, check out Sensor Shield Behavior at Power Off. Turn it on if you frequently change lenses. It will protect your sensor from excessive dust. Number 17. Check out the settings Camera Sounds. You can turn off the fake shutter sound here, or choose some other sound that you like. I suggest leaving the camera completely silent all of the time, especially if you shoot wildlife. That's it. Those are all my tips for settings on the Nikon Z8. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time.